Hello, welcome back to Modish Tech. You're watching a series where we are trying to find out what should be our key focus areas for 2024 in terms of SAP BTP, and this is the second episode. SAP BTP is going to be our focus in this episode, and we'll try and understand the overview of the whole platform. We'll not go deeper into any of those pillars because we have upcoming episodes for each of the pillars of SAP BTP. We'll try and understand all the concepts using cloud computing jargons, and we'll simplify that for you. Lastly, we'll see what is going to change in 2024 because Decade 2023 announcements were there, and we'll see how it will impact what we are doing currently. Some recommendations, and then wind up. So, to understand SAP BTP, let's take a step back and understand what are different aspects of cloud computing. So in this section, let's start with what is cloud, and then we'll go into the details of what we see, what we actually consume on the cloud. Most importantly, who serves that? So who are the providers and how we are using or consuming these services. Let's say you run a business, and just to make your business processes simpler and easily accessible to your end users, you are in need of some kind of business applications. So, to build these applications, you obviously need infrastructure. Infrastructure in the sense you need network, you need storage, and you need various other things where developers can come in, they can use the tools, and they can develop applications and give it to you. Now, traditionally, what we have been doing is we were owning all these infrastructures. We're still owning, but this is basically in your kind of control. In cloud computing terms, we basically use someone else's infrastructure and develop our applications or run our applications. So, which means that a vast network of these kind of servers equipped with different tools and technologies so that they can cater to your requirements and you can use them. So this is called cloud. So accessing your servers, your resources over the internet is basically cloud. So when we say we are accessing different types of resources over the internet and we call it cloud, then what these resources are? So generally, there are three categories of resources which we consume over internet. It could be softwares, so maybe subscribing to a software or a web application, and based on your billing, paying it. It could be infrastructure, which gives you network bandwidth and everything. Maybe databases, the storage, which you need for your application. Or it could be a full-fledged platform where it gives you environments completely ready to be used, where you can build your application, run it, and scale it. So three things which are being served on the cloud. It could be softwares, infrastructures, or platform. We call it software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service because these are being served on internet. So the question arises, like, how are they being served on the internet? If I'm using someone else's computer, is it exclusively for me or for others as well? So here also there are three types of landscapes we see. The first one is public, which means that you are using a shared computer, although your data is completely isolated with other users. So when I say computers, it means servers. Second one is the servers which are completely and exclusively provisioned for you. So these are private version of the servings. And sometimes customers have requirements that for some use cases they go public and for some they go private. So this is called a hybrid type of landscape. So now we know what cloud is and what is being served, but who serves it? So there are major players in this area. So it could be Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, maybe Alibaba Cloud. So I have tried to simplify the cloud computing jargons, which will enable us to understand what SAP BTP is. So in this section, I'll tell you SAP BTP Basics, which means that we'll try and understand it from real life examples. And then I'll explain what I see and how I see SAP BTP. We'll also try and find out what are the building blocks, and we'll see many different concepts. Finally, we'll try and get you up to speed with how you can get started with SAP BTP. So let's take an example. Let's say that you own a company, let's say an IT company, and you're the only employee as of now. Now you want to expand. So for that, you need a venue, maybe some more staff, payroll, maybe an IT team to take care of all the IT needs of your employees, HR, financial needs, so accounting, all these things, and the list never ends. Like, you'll have multiple things coming in. Now, how to cater to all these requirements? What would be your approach? Would you go to the market searching for individual resources for all these areas? I think it's tedious. So maybe you'll go to a firm saying that I need these services, and if not all, maybe majority of them they can provide. Maybe you go to a different firm for the requirements which are not catered by the first firm. So what would be your approach then? Which option would you choose? Let's take another example of a big fat Indian wedding. There are a lot of things, so you need to plan very carefully here. First one, venue, then the guests coming in, the coordination between when they are coming, their accommodation, the invitations being sent to, most important part, catering, maybe organization of different functions, gifts. These are just few things. Now, to cater to all these requirements, option one, you go to the market, look out for different vendors, and you schedule it. And then on that day, it's a big headache. Or the second option is you go to a wedding planner and they do that for you. What is easier? What do you think? So we have seen two different examples. They are different, but there is a link. In both of these examples, we need some services. We have two options. The options are either we find these service providers individually, or we go to a firm that can cater to majority of our services requirements. So the choice is yours. Which one would you go for? I would personally go for a firm, because then I do not have to worry too much about different services. Rather, I have to worry about one firm, and I can enjoy the wedding, or I can manage my company more effectively and efficiently. So now that we have seen two different examples, let's put this into perspective. SAP BTP, the business technology platform from SAP, is like the firm which we discussed in the previous examples, which can cater to majority of your services very efficiently. It is a platform as a service that gives you ready-to-go environments where you can create your applications, your business applications with different services, and you can run it and scale it. It also gives you different tools where you can manage your users, you can do security management as well, you can do connectivity with your SAP state. It basically acts as an innovation layer so that you can innovate in the cloud, keeping your core clean, meaning your SAP state is not touched for any customization. We'll see more of SAP BTP in the coming slides, but hope I was able to give you an analogy where you can relate to SAP BTP with real-world examples. So what are the building blocks then? Like, what makes SAP BTP great? It's basically 90 plus odd services on SAP BTP, from user experience to artificial intelligence, automation, databases. All these make it great platform. And since you're using SAP BTP, it has native capability of connecting to SAP state, but it is not limited to be connected only to SAP. Rather, you can connect your third-party systems as well. It doesn't matter whether you are on SAP ECC or S4, it can still connect to your estate. So the building blocks are these services which are available on SAP BTP. Currently, as of now, there are 90 plus services. So the 90 odd services which I mentioned earlier are categorized into five BTP pillars based on their capabilities. And these are application development, automation, integration, data and analytics, and artificial intelligence. Now, all these are basically explained, and I'll explain all these pillars in more details when we come to the pillar specific episodes. So stay tuned to that. Let's move on, and I'll tell you more about SAP BTP. So now that you know basics of SAP BTP, let's see what is coming in 2024. We are seeing few things already in SAP community, but let's review it based on SAP TechEd 2023 enhanced announcements and what impact it has on how we work today. So the theme of TechEd 2023 was infusing AI in all the pillars of SAP BTP, be it application development or automation. We have SAP Build getting SAP Joule, and you can create processes or you can generate application codes from there. In integration suite, you have the advisors, data and analytics. You have multiple things like DataSphere being enhanced. You have SAP Analytics Cloud Just Ask feature where you can talk to your data. And apart from all these, you have a pillar called artificial intelligence. So let's review what were the platform specific announcements in SAP TechEd 2023. And we'll come to all these pillars in pillar specific and announcements in the upcoming episodes. But let's just look at the platform specific announcements for now. So, talking about platform specific announcements during TechEd, we saw Joule in action doing the SAP BTP account setup and even user management as well. So, those who do not know what Joule is basically natural language generative AI copilot where you can give prompts and Joule can respond to it. It is already embedded in SuccessFactors now, and the plan is to embed it throughout the SAP's cloud enterprise portfolio. And we'll see it more in the coming days, but that's what Joule is. We also saw Joule in when it was merged with SAP Business Application Studio. It created or it generated the application code, but we'll talk about it in the application development episode. So we've seen Joule. Now, what's the impact? How will it change the way we work now? So probably the highly manual work of setting up accounts or configuring entitlements of different services, user management, role management. We'll see many of the features adding in the near future. But all this will change. You will just need to write prompts for all these activities, and Joule would be able to do that for you. So, how will the job which we do today change? Probably all these things, when Joule takes it up, we will have to have kind of a quality gate whether the machine has done the right thing or not. What it means is we are just ensuring that we have done the right thing for our customers. The second thing which we can see the impact is the effort estimation for all these activities and any other activities which Joule would be capable of in future. It would drastically reduce. Reason being, it is being done by machine, which is much faster as compared to a human. But again, just to reiterate, a quality gate needs to be there before we hand it over to our customers so that we have the quality delivery. So now we know what BTP is, what are different components, how we have visualized it, what is changing in 2024, how Joule is coming into picture. So what should be the recommended way? If you're still new, I would suggest you should still have the clear concepts of various kind of account structures SAP BTP has, and what fits in your context, what fits best for your customer, because you still need to design that. You have to do the prompts, but before that, you need to think that what should be the right design for your customer. You still need to design those user role matrices before writing the prompt that this user needs this role. You still need to design those. You still have to think about the cloud connectors and how the cloud connector is connecting your BTP and your SAP real estate. How many cloud connectors do you need? What all resources need to be exposed? And since you have different systems, you still and those systems have different sign-on capabilities. You still need to understand how to set up trust between different systems. So all this, maybe the heavy lifting of manual work would be done by Joule, but you still need to think before you ask Joule to do so and so. So I still think humans are still relevant in this particular case. You need to think, and then you need to write what Joule needs to do for you. So how can you get started with SAP BTP? Now that you know all the basic concepts, probably the best place would be SAP Learning site, which is learning.sap.com. And there is a course called Exploring SAP BTP or Discovering SAP BTP. You can go with that. You can go through all the content. It's only 5 hours course, and you will get to know whatever I have told you in few minutes. You'll have better understanding of that. Once you're done, probably the next tool you should be looking at is the Discovery Center, where you can discover all the services available on SAP BTP, and you can find relevant use cases as well. You can also go to Discovery Center for reference architectures. So although there are very few at the moment, but at least you will be able to see how different components talk to each other and what are different scenarios and different architectures that are possible on SAP BTP. Now, after this, it completely depends on your interest, where you want to go, and which area you want to explore, because you already know there are 5 different pillars. So what interests you, it completely depends on your knowledge, skills, and where you want to go. So for that, I would say stay tuned to the series because we'll be coming up with the pillar specific episodes after this. To experience SAP BTP, I would highly recommend you to sign up for your free trial account, and you can use different services. There are various services which have free plan as well. So you can explore those services, and then you can see where you want to go as per your interests and skills and the plans. So this was episode 2 of the series where we explored SAP BTP Basics. Next in the series would be pillar-specific episodes specific to application development, automation, data and analytics, artificial intelligence, integration, and lastly we'll wrap up with all the recommendations. So you can watch all these episodes, this particular series, and all other videos which I post on YouTube. The handle is Modish Tech Digital. So thanks a lot for watching this. If you still have not subscribed to the channel, I would request you to do so, because then only you get the notification when the new video is out. Stay tuned to the channel. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you in the next episode.